Okay, but why even go through that process in the first place, right? Because like you're saying, it's just clicking a button, right? But like like what
principle.
happens, it largely doesn't matter, right? Is it fair to say that you had intent to take the video down?
No, I knew the video I knew the video wouldn't go down. I just wanted him to know that I flagged the video.
I refuse to believe this person has a channel with over 200,000 subscribers. I refuse to believe people find this person to be a credible source. For those of you who do not know, this is Jadyn, a commentary YouTuber that likes to make content revolving around the Minecraft community. Though odds are if you heard the name Jadyn, you probably know about the crazy dramas and situations that are attached to it, such as Jadyn trying to profit off a cancer diagnosis and as well as somebody else's death, or their interesting takes on religion. Either way, Jadyn isn't known for good reasons, all of which have happened in the past year alone. At this point, it's come down to the community getting ridiculously fed up with Jadyn and their bullshit, which has led to big names such as Optimus, Augie RFC, and Tommy C all making videos on Jadyn or having streams with Jadyn. Granted, most of the videos are from the current situation rather than past, but we'll definitely get to that later. If you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you probably know who Jadyn is, and at that point that would mean that last 40 seconds have been a complete waste to you. But the rest of the video hopefully won't be as big of a waste. So with that, let's get into it. Jadyn's reactions to criticism will never cease to amaze me. And it is these reactions to criticism that always put Jadyn in deeper shit. If you don't understand me, usually whatever Jadyn's is getting criticized for is usually never as bad as how they will react. For instance, when Lyrics released a video just detailing why they do not like Jadyn and just talking about a few of the situations they'd been in, Jadyn thought it was an appropriate idea to false flag Lyrics and try to get their video taken down. Ironically enough, one of the things that Lyrics was criticizing Jadyn for was threatening to false flag a YouTuber. Obviously the epitome of intelligence. Great work, Jadyn. But originally, there was no evidence to support that Jadyn actually had flagged Lyrics. Lyrics ended up taking to Twitter, confronting Jadyn about a comment they had received on their channel, saying, "This video violates YouTube TOS, good luck keeping your channel." When confronted, Jadyn said, "I guess we can wait and see," strongly hinting they had done something maliciously towards Lyrics. After arguing with a bunch of people, Jadyn ended up releasing their entire flag history. And right at the top was Lyrics' video, reported for harassment and bullying. Now if you ask anybody who would watch that video, did Lyrics harass or bully Jadyn? They would have said no. So what did Jadyn do? They ended up backpedaling and stating that Lyrics had a history of harassing them, which in the end nobody bought. After a bunch of arguments, Jadyn became very unhinged and ended up telling somebody to go die in the Middle East. Jadyn DM'd Turkey Tom telling them that they were an asshole and that they were going to cut ties with the community. Jadyn then ran away and deactivated, which is the end of the drama on Twitter. It ends up then going to YouTube later on, but we'll get to that. So Jadyn ended up leaving Twitter after being criticized to hell for unjustly flagging Lyrics' video. So then Jadyn decided to make a video proceeding to play victim and leave their audience in the dark to what they had truly done. So I'm gonna bring up the video and show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Every community is just infested with toxic people that will just attack content creators or attack their friends for absolutely no reason. And then you have the political side of Twitter, which I'm not even gonna get into because that's just a complete cesspit, which is why I'm finally making the decision to quit Twitter.
You know, Jadyn, you gotta find it really ironic that you just kind of decided to quit Twitter after you had to deal with a lot of drama on Twitter over your false flag of Lyrics, you know? It just seems too ironic that this was not even a day after that, you know? It's almost as if you were getting called out rightfully and you didn't like it. It just feels a little ironic, you know?
If you want to interact with your community, if you want to interact with other content creators, you want to get news, you want to reach out to people, you're pretty much forced to use Twitter. There is no other social media site that's like Twitter.
Odds are, if you're going to interact with your community, you're going to go to the places where they're biggest. So probably YouTube on your community tab. Or if you really think about it, most people are going to join your Discord as well. And that's where you also can interact with your community. Twitter, none of your fans ever interact with you. That's just how it is for me at least, and everybody else it seems. You have a really high follower count, but it seems we have a very low interaction rate, which admittedly is probably pretty bad if you want to interact with your community. When it comes to all the other things that you point out, the only other thing I can actually see you having a point on is maybe news, because news travels the best on Twitter. But everything else you can easily do with your YouTube community tab in Discord. You can reach out and talk to people there easily.
I could make a post saying, wow, my new video didn't do well, and I'm kind of upset. And then I'll get attacked by 100 people for absolutely no reason. There's like no reason for people to go out of their way to do that.
Jadyn, people on the internet are assholes, and have you ever thought about maybe, just maybe, this happens to everybody else too with a sizable audience, you know? You get attacked for no reason? Maybe think about that?
I can post a meme or make a joke, and people take it seriously.
Jadyn, I may find the reason people take those seriously is maybe because the times that you make jokes or post memes is when you're under fire. As well, may I say, you don't make very good jokes.
So much drama and bullshit has come out of me using Twitter. I've tried to reason with the people who don't like me, but no matter what I do, it doesn't work. These people are never going to like me, which is why I'm done. I'm done with those people on Twitter.
Jadyn, if your idea of reasoning is making threats, blocking, and acting entitled towards the people who disagree with you, I'm pretty sure they're gonna end up not liking you and they're not gonna listen to you. The issue in the end is less the people on Twitter, but more yourself. After the whole debacle on the Twitter video, Jadyn decided that wasn't enough and made another video. This video would be a bit different as it actually addressed the situations directly, though Jadyn would still continue to play victim and shift the blame. I wish I could say I was surprised.
And I just wasn't able to handle it. As you know, with the entire Optimus drama, I was completely unhinged and said so many things that I didn't mean. I had never been in a situation like this before, as cringe as it sounds. Optimus was a kind of hero and inspiration to me. So just imagine if your favorite actor, sports player, called you out on Twitter. A lot of people wouldn't be able to handle that, but that doesn't at all excuse my actions or the things that I said to sensitive society.
Okay, Jadyn, so you say that Optimus is your biggest inspiration, so we can assume that you hold him to a very high regard. So can you please explain to me how you take somebody you hold to a very high regard, ignore everything they've said to you, and put back up the video that got you into so much controversy 4 months later? A day after Technoblade releases a video making an update about his cancer diagnosis. It just kind of feels like you're trying to capitalize off it again. Or am I just some mad conspiracy theorist because it's just so much a coincidence that it was a day after?
And for a while, I thought that I had, but it didn't take long before I fell into the same cycle. I used Twitter as a crutch to lean on instead of actually dealing with my issues. I would tweet about them instead, which is something that's heavily frowned upon in the commentary community. If you allow yourself to be vulnerable, people are going to strike, and I should have expected that.
Tweeting about your issues is not heavily frowned upon in this community. I don't know what you're smoking there. I don't think I've seen anybody say you can't tweet about your issues in this community. The only times I can see you getting attacked for your issues is because you're complaining about it when you're in the middle of a drama regarding those issues. And if you think that getting attacked is somebody telling you to F off, then I don't know what to say.
For days on end. But then came my birthday, and I felt pretty good that day. I was finally getting over all the bullshit that had happened. But then another one of these leafy clone channels released a video on me, and this user showed the tweet that the R group chat had been spamming me with for days, and that kind of brought back everything that I had been feeling days prior. And so I once again threatened to report this person's video, except this time I actually went through with it. I reported their video because of this tweet that they showed in that video.
Your justification for striking down this video is a tweet that was read inside the video. Is that correct? Somebody needs to explain to me the mental gymnastics Jadyn has been through to support this logic.
To me, this wasn't a huge deal at all. Reporting videos isn't the same as like a copyright strike. I'm not breaking any laws whatsoever, and it exists for anyone to report anything they don't like. Literally all this is a button. You just click it. You click 2 buttons, and that's how you report a YouTube video.
Look, Jadyn, this may just be a button to you, but to me it's definitely a lot different. I have a friend who was straight up flagged off of YouTube because some idiot was pissed that they made a video on him. I know it's hard for somebody of your following to understand, but when you're small, you simply don't have the resources to save yourself if you're flagged off of YouTube. My friend was only very fortunate to get his channel back 2 months later. As well, the report button is not something to use to just report whatever you don't like, no. The report button is used to report things that break YouTube's terms of service. It should not be used as a tool to silence critics or people you don't like. I find it absolutely astounding that I have to explain this to somebody with his following of 200,000 people, and obviously what I can presume to be a lot more experience on YouTube than me. It's just absolutely mind-boggling that I have to explain that.
Even Frank Hassel, the guy who harassed Boogie, jumped in on this. So I kind of made like a joke response to him that everyone took seriously. Basically, anytime people would call him out for harassing, showing up to Boogie's house, and threatening to our Boogie, he would use the fact that he's a veteran as a shield to harass people. Like that is some sort of excuse for his horrible actions. So I made a tweet saying that he deserved to be in the Middle East. And people kind of took this as another sensitive society moment, which maybe it is, but to me it wasn't really that serious. I was just trying to like fight any potential response that he would have. And I was tired of any interaction I had with this guy. He would used the fact he was a veteran as an excuse. So with this response, I kind of threw that at the water and said, I don't care if you were a veteran. But people in the commentary community actually sided with this literal sociopath. I mean, this guy goes around harassing people for a living. He gets a kick at making people suffer. And after I saw that people were supporting this Frank Hassel, I was done with it all. I decided that I was gonna cut ties with the commentary community, which again, probably wasn't the right way to go about it.
I feel like this further adds onto my point about you not being very good at making jokes. I mean, it was more or less looking like you were just being pissed off and yelling at a dude than rather making a joke. As well, I don't see the community siding with Frank more than them just calling you out for your hypocrisy, for flagging down a video for bullying and harassment, then doing this shit in the next second. Ironically enough, the screenshot that you showed us proves my exact same point.
Twitter. I made a video saying that I was done with Twitter, that I was gonna quit Twitter, and I promoted some of my other social medias. And I purposely left out this entire situation because to me, this wasn't even the main reason I wanted to quit Twitter. It was just another thing added onto the pile. And people said that I lied in that video, but I didn't lie. I've been canceled on Twitter numerous times. I'm not even talking about the commentary community in that video. I'm talking about Dream Stance. I got canceled by Dream Stance so many times, and I did briefly mention the commentary community about them constantly attacking me for every little thing I did.
Guys, you remember just viciously attacking Jadyn, just straight up just harassing them for every little thing they did. It's not like we were just hopping on things that they were doing that were just completely scummy, and then they were spurging out, you know, it's not like we were rightfully criticizing them for those actions. But it was definitely like Jadyn was saying hi and we'd all just say kill yourself. We're 100% definitely to blame. When it comes down to it, I've noticed a downward spiral when it comes to Jadyn and their controversy. It first started with Jadyn profiting off of somebody's cancer diagnosis to Jadyn profiting off of somebody's death. Then it went to Jadyn threatening to flag somebody to Jadyn flagging somebody. At this point, it's just gotten so old that Jadyn keeps getting in these same stupid dramas, repeating the same stupid cycle, and we still sit here and look at them like, have you changed? No, you've gotten worse. Hell, it's even come down to the point where their own fan base is turning against them and just leaving them behind because they're sick of their shit. So do I think Jadyn will change? No. Do I think it's possible? Yes, but I think it's highly unlikely. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another drama in January. So please, Jadyn, for the love of God, start listening to people and stop being so stupid.
I'm going out of my fucking way. I am calling fucking goddamn Optimus after this, and I'm going anybody to listen, never to help you when you get in trouble. Not one fucking person. Not Nick, not Keemstar, not Mudahar, anybody. I will fly to fucking Toronto and get my hands and knees and say, Mudahar, whip out your cock, because I'm going to suck you off just so you don't help fucking Jadyn. Got that?